we're so excited to do this,
Yes.
guys. We're so happy.
Nick, it's been so long. You know, you were our second guest, as you know. So that was
Who was the first?
Aaron.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. And Desi, it's your first time, finally.
I haven't I was recently in, well, now it's 2 years ago. So now I'm involved with the show.
Yes.
I've had some experience with it now. So.
And that's what we're here to talk about. We're here to talk about your tour, the album La Vie En Rose, and of course, you playing Mary, and then you both working behind the table to do the show together.
There's so many things.
Yeah, so many things. But first and foremost, Nic, we're so happy you're in recovery. We're so happy you're feeling better.
Awesome.
Thank you. Me too.
You are the reason we are together. You know, both of you, and it's like,
It's true.
and we got so sad, and we were really, really like, along with everyone, like praying that for a complete speedy recovery. And here you are.
Yes,
Here you are.
Singing and dancing.
Almost fully 100%. My voice is still a little weak in some upper register, some notes where I'm like, oh, it's a little weak, but it's stronger every day. The more I use it, the more I sing, the more it strengthens. So
yes, and you're feeling okay physically too.
Energy wise, it's great. Yeah, I have no more pain in my throat, which is great. I started drinking wine and alcohol again, which is great. It doesn't
there you go.
For what it's worth, you sounded fucking amazing at the concert at Green Room.
Seriously.
Seriously.
Yes.
That was not my best either. Like but now it's a lot better too. So our next one's gonna.
How are you feeling? How are you feeling like going into that concert? That and the energy in the room the entire night was just visceral.
Off
it
the
was just
charts.
amazing. Off the charts. Like how were you feeling? Your first big performance back on stage?
It felt good. I mean, I was, Desi was worried about my energy because we hadn't done a full 75-minute show with singing and dancing. But I'm always optimistic and positive, going, it'll be fine, it'll be great. I got it, I had it. I got it.
It doesn't have anything to do with just, are you going to be good enough?
Yeah.
It's like you have gone through a lot.
Yes,
and
sure.
I'm allowed to feel that.
Well, absolutely.
And
I'm not saying you're not.
Please be careful.
Yeah,
you worded it very interestingly, but yes. I'm worried that you haven't done that for months or even worked out. You guys know we love working out and we're always so active, and because we dance, so we need to keep that up. And if you stop that for months, it's a lot. Your body is not used to it.
Sure. And I was very well aware. I was taking deep breaths and really focusing. And, the week leading up to it, I was just, in my head, just training. So it was good.
Yeah.
Okay.
But it was an amazing room and the energy was fantastic. And,
yes.
It's only going to get better from there. So it's good.
Man.
Yes.
And there's kind of bouncing off that a little bit. There's a big stigma in the theater and film world, coming back to work, even after a required medical leave, like cancer, that can sometimes be life and death. Do you mind sharing your mental health journey, especially after COVID and the strikes and everything? What were you feeling?
Yes, for both of you.
I was always very optimistic. As soon as I had the diagnosis, I was just chatting with the doctors, saying, what do I need to do? And let's get it done. And so, chatting with the surgeon at first, we chose to do the surgery to remove the tumor on the base of my tongue because there was a slight chance that I was not going to need chemotherapy or radiation. But because of the location of the cancer on the tongue and where it had slightly spread to my lymph nodes, they were like, let's make sure that it never comes back, even though the surgery removed the lymph nodes in my neck as well. Just because I'm so young, they said, if you were older, we could say, let's take a chance. Then, in a few years, if it comes back, we'll deal with it. But because I'm so young, they want it to be as aggressive as possible to make sure it never comes back. So between the chemo and radiation, they're almost certain that it will not come back. Anything can happen, but just monitoring for the next 3 to 5 years. And then after that, I can officially say, it's gone and it will not come back. So
they said 3 to 5?
They said 5 years, sorry, 5 years. The first 3, you do a checkup every 3 to 6 months. The last 2 years, it's every 6 months only. And then boom. And then that's it. I trusted that it was far away from my throat, that it was not going to affect my singing voice, even though it has affected some other people in different scenarios.
We don't really know any other singers that have had what you had. So
true.
Just we had nothing to base it off of, so we're like, it'll be fine.
Yeah.
We were like, I don't have there was no option. I'm like, he'll be fine.
Yeah.
We'll still sing and dance because I don't know, I could not do that. So
yeah.
I knew it was gonna be okay eventually.
Yeah.
What's so interesting, like something similar, someone you've actually worked with, Nic. I mean, when Hugh Jackman was doing The Greatest Showman, like right before they started filming, like he had cancer removed from his nose.
Oh, I didn't know
I didn't know
that.
that either.
Yeah.
And
Oh.
yeah, and they like someone recorded the green light workshop of The Greatest Showman, and Hugh was there, but Jeremy Jordan was singing all the songs. But at
Oh.
one point, when they were singing From Now On, I'm getting goosebumps. It was beautiful. From Now On, Hugh took over, and he had just gotten the cancer removed from his nose. So it was like kind of dangerous for him to do what he did. And he was singing those G sharps and A's on top, but
Yeah.
he sounded so good. And I guess like with his therapy, what he was going through. So
Oh.
it can, if
We'll
if it
send
can
it. We'll send
yeah,
video.
if it can happen for you, it can happen for you.
Yeah, really, he's amazing.
We're so happy that you were positive the entire time, and the fact that you didn't have really a precedent like that's good. It didn't scare you. Like I'm sure, like hopefully you can go on WebMD and just
Yeah, there's not a lot about it.
I'm excited to go back to my surgeon and sing for her. Essentially, be like, hey, listen, this is what happened, and I can sing.
Oh, well, that's amazing.
Gotta sing.
And they're like,
okay, that's enough. That's okay. Well, let's do surgery again and remove some of your vocal cords. No.
Well, we're so thankful that you both are okay, and you have so much coming up down the pipe. But please pace yourself. Like if you're not feeling it, like
exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. And if something in your body feels different and you're like, this is not right, go to the doctor.
That's right.
Right?
Yeah.
Everyone out there watching and listening.
Yeah.
That's what we did, right?
Yeah, exactly.
That's what, we kind of slough things off sometimes.
Yeah.
It's really important.
In another interview, he said everything happens for a reason. I was in like final callbacks for a few shows that were going to be a few months over September, October, November, December of last year. And luckily, at the time I was like,
and then goes to Broadway maybe, and you're so busy.
If I was in those shows, I would have probably ignored everything and been like, yeah, I'll go to a doctor later. I'll go to a doctor later. But because I was I was available and I had health insurance, I was like, I should go check that out.
Yeah.
It's not, my body's telling me something, I have to listen. So to everybody out there, if you listen to your body, and doctors are, just go get your checkup if you feel the need to.
Well, if you could take it back for a second too, so because a lot of people know you both as superheroes in love, but have you evolved from that?
Well, it's still our Instagram. It's like our brand.
It's still our brand.
I just like it. I don't know.
Yeah, it's great. We've always loved doing that. I think that some people expect us to come on stage in superhero costumes, and so sometimes presenters or bookers are like, well, that's an odd title, or or they're thrown. They just got to figure it out. So
some people think it's amazing and clever, but then it's just like, we'll just Nic and Desi. Those are some cute names together. I think
because it's like Stephen Edie or like Sonny and Cher, it's iconic.
Exactly.
Nic and Desi, and so it's both. It's Nic and Desi, superheroes in love.
We just have a
personas. But yeah.
Well, we both try to link everything that way no one misses a beat.
Let's count.
Taking notes.
Let's do that.
Hi, Dee. Yeah.
There's a little person coming in. Plethora of guests. Hello.
Hi, Barbie.
Hi, Barbie.
David.
Do you remember?
Can we say, Zélia, you sound so good on your song on the album.
You're amazing.
Guys, she sings. Guys, she sings You Make Me Feel So Young with Nic and Desi on this album. She sounds so good.
So professional.
What do you say?
Thank you. Bye.
Ferme la porte, Zélia. Ferme la porte. Merci.
Everyone's in here.
Did you guys knew that you wanted her to sing on the album?
Yes.
How did you figure out which song?
She loves that song, and we did that in our virtual concert, and she just knows it really well.
She just started singing one.
So and it wasn't in the studio. We just finished everything, and we're like, let's add her. So he sent it, and she sang it in our house on the mic. And he put it in, and it's adorable.
It's pretty awesome.
And she picked up that harmony part.
I know. what the heck?
Good ear.
Who is she?
She's amazing.
Wow.
She really is.
Yeah.
Everyone,
Wow.
new album from Nic and Desi, La Vie En Rose.
Yes.
Looks beautiful. It's go to the link in our bio to purchase a digital download, to purchase a physical
That's
copy.
us.
Yeah.
Beautiful. And it's also on Spotify where you can stream it. Guys, you guys, when you perform some of those tracks at the Room 42 concert, it was and it was
So
just so
crisp.
beautiful.
It was.
Thank you.
Can't wait to
Look at
listen.
our dogs.
So cute.
They're annoying.
Aw.
This baby right here.
Oh, well, it's the perfect like Sunday morning music, like when you're just hanging
Yeah,
out,
totally. It
Just-
is.
relax, and to get that New York feeling. That's my favorite.
Yay. Thank you. We'll send you exactly what
Yeah.
you want. 'Cause there's a lot.
Well, that sounds perfect. But we have to say, so we've seen 2 of your shows. We saw you at 54 Below, and then at Green Room was it last month? Or
Yeah,
January.
January.
Yes.
From
Feels like
coast to
yesterday.
coast.
Yes, which
Right.
From
and
coast to
you
coast.
both are masters at dancing in such a tiny space. How do you do it?
Crazy. Do you
That's right.
rehearse in the in a confined in like a small
Yeah, I
space
mean,
too?
it's kind of easy to do that because we have a tap board that we rehearse on a lot,
Mhm.
but also, well, now we're with my parents in California. They have a lot of space. But when you have a house, it's usually a living room you can rehearse in. So it kind of makes it easier. Like when we do our bigger show, it's on a big stage. So we usually have to go to a studio to rehearse.
Mhm.
Right.
Right.
That, 'cause we know we have to be bigger and do lifts, but
Mhm.
it's not too, I don't know. I think we both grew up dancing, so we're really aware of being spatially aware.
Yeah.
I'm
And
not.
I'm not a very
Yeah.
like tall woman, so it's a little easier. I don't have long legs, so it's like I can be confined, right?
Yeah.
How
Exactly.
do you feel about it? We got
Just
it.
that. We got it.
We
It's just,
got
we
it.
gotta,
I don't know.
you gotta do what you gotta do in the space you're given. So it's
And I think that's what makes us unique. There's there was just like a New York Times article about cabaret isn't dead, and there's like these
Right.
artists that have been doing it for years that have won MAC awards and stuff. But I'm like, yeah, it's not, because people like us are bringing more to it instead of just like, let me tell my story and sing you the songs that go with it.
Mhm.
That's great. It's great to see people do that, but I think it's fun to change it up. And dancing's always fun.
Yeah.
If you can
Yes.
add that.
absolutely.
And you won Broadway World Best Cabaret last year.
Yes, best duo show.
Yeah, that's right.
Awesome.
Thank you for
Fucking
voting.
Thanks to
Yes,
everyone.
of course.
Everyone that I bothered 80 times.
So, well, if we could also go back to talking about your house and how you told us how you like to work out a lot. So David and I had the honor of dog sitting during COVID in 2021 for Nic and Desi's dogs, Stella and Chief. Okay.
Aw.
Also, talk about 2 duos, you both, and then Stella and Chief, because
Oh my God.
I can't, because Chief
They
is a
are.
horse.
Yes.
The horse, 90 pounds.
Wow.
Greyhound.
Is
Yes.
that how much he weighs?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, because he doesn't like, he's big, but he doesn't seem that, like, he never seemed that bulky.
Mhm.
Yeah, he's
Oh.
just all muscle. That's
Yeah.
what it.
Yeah.
But
Very
he
lean.
acts like a lap dog because
Yeah.
he wants love and he wants you to like.
He's
Yes.
Yes.
such a cutie. They're both
I
such.
know. And then little Stella. So for context, everyone, you have 90-pound Chief, and then little tiny Stella.
12-pound Stella.
And Stella's an Italian greyhound.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
she
Yes.
would work well in Jersey Boys.
Absolutely, yes.
Jersey pups.
Oh, Jersey pups.
Oh,
Well, I remember that when we were at your house, we saw your hit machine,
Mhm.
and
yeah,
it was just so cool.
doing the rower.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rowing machine.
But
Yeah.
Chief almost like knocked something down on your hit machine, because it was up, but then like he banged into
Oh,
it.
God.
That was gonna like collapse. But
He's got a big butt.
Yeah. And
Yes.
you cannot-
But also their house your house also, like the backyard, it had the spiral staircase and it had the bridge. So
Jersey
we would
boy.
literally reenact.
So I do my
So I
stretch.
do my stretch.
Oh, I didn't
when-
even think of that. We never have thought
Yeah,
of that.
that's
You could
funny.
literally rehearse in the backyard. Crazy.
Oh my
It was
God,
fun.
fun.
That's
You
like
could do everything.
Good.
Yeah.
Funny. I love that.
Yeah, you could put like 20 chairs back there. You could have a
And
whole
just do Jersey boys.
Yeah, we could do the show in our backyard. Perfect.
We know we have tracks now.
That's right.
Well, we did Fireside and
Yeah.
they did
We
tracks
recorded some tracks. for
because
the
it's
show.
in the round and there's no pit.
There's no place for a pit.
So they have it done in Milwaukee with like how many musicians? Like 16 to 8.
No, it was whatever's on the Broadway.
Well, it
version,
was
so yeah,
full with horns.
with
and-
horns, and yeah, it wasn't as synthesized.
But
as
it's
it has
with
been.
tracks.
All the underscore. Oh, I
Really difficult because those actors had to, a lot of them have done it before and they have their timing. You're like, okay, well,
Yeah.
you know, the timing for Jersey Boys is the same usually if you've done
so
it.
easy.
But like but like you know you can't miss it.
Yeah.
Or if something happens, you just
Yeah.
because it's gonna go to the next or the next
So
cue
driven.
has it's
Yeah.
So as directors, like director and choreographers, these are non-replica Dodgers affiliated productions, right?
Non-Dodgers.
Like so okay, so you
None.
got the rights from Dodgers, but they're not, but you have to create the staging and
Well,
choreo
so
on your own.
TRW owns the
Yeah.
rights.
Oh,
The actual rights or worldwide own the professional
they own it.
and,
Gotcha, right.
will eventually own the amateur and community theater.
Okay, of course.
Right.
Sorry.
No, but
Okay,
they got it
Yeah.
from Dodgers.
Right.
Dodgers gave it to TRW.
Okay.
That's
Yeah.
right. To answer your question, yeah, you don't. There's no. I don't even think there's a. No, there is because we recorded it. I was one of the performers where they recorded the original choreography.
Yeah,
So you can
that's what-
purchase.
Really?
You can purchase and rent and have the original rights to the choreography of Jersey Boys. from
Or
Broadway
was
to do
that
it.
for like other
And so
productions?
you can rent and have that, but so if you don't, you cannot replicate the choreography from the original Broadway production.
So they offer that, they're like, for a good
Yes.
Right. That's not
$2,000,
Cool.
you can have Sergio teaching you with Nicholas Desi.
That's right.
because that's not usual. That doesn't happen often because
doesn't?
we both grew up doing community and regional.
Yeah,
You usually can't rent original materials.
So you can rent the original choreography, but what we did is no, we want to create our own staging, our own choreography.
the choreography is
Because-
great in Jersey Boys,
Yeah.
but it's like, it's not like known to be like, this is a dance show.
Yeah.
It's like,
Right.
we can do stuff similar and have other ideas.
A variation on the theme, I like
Yeah.
to call it.
Yes.
It was either Richard Hester or Ron who told us that like as the years went by with the show, because the original cast, they weren't any of them really dancers, so they were kind of doing like the bare minimum stuff.
Yeah.
But so one of them told us that it got more complex as time
Yeah.
went on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We
the
can
choreographer
talk about
Sergio
that.
Trujillo would come back to watch the show and be like, it's not tight enough. And like all of a sudden, over the course of the years, it became cleaner and neater and more organized and yes, more precise.
Very precise.
Very precise. And
Yes.
so that became the standard
some
for the
people
all
like,
productions
but
that
for
were.
that type of show, it's like, it's
Yeah.
not about that.
Yeah, if you go to YouTube and you see like original bootlegs of the show, like with the four guys in the first few weeks, you're
Yeah.
like, oh wow. And then also tempos seem to have gotten slightly faster.
Yes.
Of course.
Yeah. After 5
though
years.
Bob-
It's boring.
Bob
It's-
Gaudio would always come back and say, no, it's got to be slower. It's got to be slower.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
we didn't know that.
But
'Cause
it's a
Ron-
musical, so you can't lag it down.
Right.
No, I know.
That's
Exactly.
why they wanted
Yeah.
it. And he's like, but this is my music.
I mean, but
Yeah.
eventually they said, they settled and were happy with the tempos because that there was a click track. There was nothing recorded, but the music director always would start his click and he tin tin. So the
So now
tempos
it's the
were always
same,
precise.
yeah.
So yeah.
So when it comes to creating your own choreography and staging, how stringent is it when it comes to like, what if you cross the same way that Des had?
Oh,
So how
I mean-
stringent is that?
I don't think
I
it's
don't think
you know, a lot of productions, as you said, you saw production where it was like the same, a lot of
Almost
it's
the
not
same.
same staging, or some people
Yeah.
plagiarize the positions. It's
I mean, you
It's
can
interesting.
watch it, so I
Staging
guess
is not
it's-
choreography. So if a production is like the same, where they sat almost the same
I
positions
mean,
and
I
they stood
think
up at the
that's
same time,
fine.
you know, plagiarism is the kindest form of
Plagiarism of directing.
is the, you know, the kindest form of flattery, I guess.
I don't know if that, I don't really know.
Bad directors borrow, good directors steal.
Steal,
right, yeah.
That's why that.
I
So,
don't really know that. I don't know what the logistics.
Yeah.
But ours was completely different.
well, it wasn't the round, first of all, so it was.
Yeah.
That's fucking cool.
Let's talk. How did you do it? I know, of course, we'd love to go.
First of all,
Yes, but
they just closed. They closed on Sunday,
Yeah.
the show.
it
It
ran
was
for a
so
while.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah, it was a
long
long run.
Fireside's
It was a
long.
long run. Now,
Um,
I got to give props and credits to Desi because she has worked in the round before.
I worked at
And I hadn't.
I've worked at every theater, regional theater that's in the
Yeah,
room.
Sacramento Music Circus.
North Shore, Fireside.
Yeah.
There's one more.
Sacramento Music Circus.
That's
three.
it? There's
Three.
only three? Okay.
Go,
Yes.
Desi.
So, and I worked at Fireside a couple times. I've done 3 shows there when I was younger, the beginning of my career. And then I choreographed 2 shows there.
Mhm.
So I have an idea. You have to come down the aisles and time your entrances to get on stage. It's all through aisles and you exit.
Mhm.
That being said, it is it's like math problems. Like, I don't know, it's not numbers, but it is because it's like 3, 6, 9, 12.
Yeah, the artistic
and then
director, Ed
X, Y,
Flesh.
Z, that's just
It was,
a lot.
yeah, the artistic director Ed Flesh created he's like, well, it's like a round is like a clock.
Mhm.
So if you look at the clock and where it's positioned, the aisles are numbered as if it's the numbers on the clock. So it's 3, 6, 9, and 12.
And there's
And
one
so-
aisle that you would go in where
Yeah.
the theater lobby is, or like if there's a quick change, we're like, let's not have them go there, you know, like
Mhm.
little things like that. And we know that Jersey Boys, there's so many things happening.
Yeah.
The easier thing with this production was we didn't have to have so many set changes done by the cast members.
Because
Right.
Because
there is a pit. And so within
The
the circle,
center.
there's a center that goes down and up and rotates.
And so
And
some
so-
the actors stay on the outside and go do stuff in corners.
Yeah.
The next scene
Stage
change
goes
comes
down,
and then
Then scene change comes.
not all the time. It's
So-
up a lot, like for
Yeah.
all the clubs. It was kind of magical when the clubs came up. And then my
Yes.
favorite part was when the girls come up on it.
Dun, dun, dun.
It was so
Yes.
cute. And then I had them like jazz walk around and do stuff in each corner. So everyone gets to see them. That's the other thing, you need
Yeah.
everyone at some point to see their face, you know.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Wow.
the coolest thing for the actors, I think, is you don't have to present open. You have a scene,
Yeah.
like this because
Yeah.
you're talking
Mhm.
because everyone sees you.
There's everyone.
You have
Audience
to,
all
you
over
have
you.
to act like a human.
Yeah.
That's what I would always say. I'm like, you're not acting like a human. You're like talking like this.
Yeah.
And they're all like posing, facing out. I'm like, this is not a front. There's no front. You're
There's no
in a
front.
room.
There's no
So
proscenium.
act like a human
Yeah.
and just like if you're talking to the girl, do
Yeah.
this. If you're, you know.
But it brought such a great intimacy
Great.
to like certain scenes that usually
really
it's
great.
it's almost like the bar scenes between Tommy and Lorraine,
It's
the
made it
the Lorraine
creepy.
and Frankie when there was that warmth and that like all of a sudden intimacy that is hard
Because
to
they
have.
have to just be like,
Yeah.
yeah, blah,
They're
blah,
not talking
blah.
to each other.
They were like
they're there.
across
Yeah.
at a bar.
Yeah,
And it's so cute.
even to
Such
the point
good
of like
stuff.
his one had his back to there.
Yeah.
And talking like how you would talk at a bar.
Because people are sitting there, they can
Yeah.
see people there, they'll see her facial expression.
Someone
The
snuck
people
in our room.
there.
Look who snuck in our room.
Steve!
There he is. Oh,
Look at his ears.
Like what? Is that Bubby?
Oh,
The tiger.
I have to say, I think this is the first production of Jersey Boys with a lift since Broadway, huh?
Oh, a lift?
North
Yeah,
Shore doesn't
they
have a
don't
lift?
have anything.
No?
No.
Well, that's awesome.
That is
That's
awesome.
fucking
Scene
cool.
changes were pretty cool, and it
Oh.
made like Katie Goffman was in it, and this was so easy for her. She's like, "Oh, I don't have to bring okay. And like, you just have more time, you don't.
Yeah.
And we also had a fourth girl on stage.
Yeah.
So she did lots of the bit roles, so some of the other girls weren't
Mhm.
frantic. It's nice to have more women
Yeah.
on stage.
Yes,
Yeah.
Jersey girls.
It was great.
Jersey
Not
girl.
Yeah, I loved the fourth girl. She got to sing Frankie Nolan.
Yeah.
So we gave that to her. You know, like
Right.
it's
Yes.
great.
Wow. I think I know the answer, but because of the clock, like, would you have
Yeah.
each season have their own section of the area? Like, would like Tommy be 12 and then Frankie also be like back at 12?
Certain things were strategic like that, yeah, but
Yes.
because it's clocked and audiences everywhere, they had to, of course, move around. But there's certain things like if you knew my brain, I was
Yeah.
like, oh, he just came out of there, he needs to go back out and blah blah blah. And
Yeah,
that's this, yeah.
Their exits at the end, they
Yeah.
each had their own corner. You know,
exactly.
it's
On the stage, though, if you go to in most theaters, they operate with numbers at the front of the stage.
Right.
The 0 is the middle, and then it goes 2, 4, 6, 8,
Right.
so that you can precisely be like wing 2, right stage right 8, and that
Mhm.
also helps the swings to know exactly where people are instead of being in the vague general
Mhm.
area. They are, I'm on 8
Yeah.
at wing.
They have their
2.
mark, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
they're marked at the hit, and that's like Mary Poppins, Wicked, stuff like that. It's got to be very precise. Or else you get a monkey wing in your face or a chimney sweep up your ass.
Or literally, so
Never happened to you. Yeah.
No comment.
That's so fun. Okay, so you had more cast members for this. So like so you had a fourth girl. Was there anyone else in your ensemble?
at 19 total. So
Yeah.
what does that add?
We also had like it was. Do we have an extra guy? We had an extra an extra male character as well that we were
Who
able
was
to. Well, we had David play Nic DeVito, but then we had somebody else play Norm Waxman.
Yeah.
Because we had an extra male, so an extra female and extra male in the ensemble.
Yeah, and also we had to have non-ec and equity. So not like an equity person can only understudy one person.
Mhm.
So like there's so many logistics.
It's puzzles.
Yeah.
There's many puzzles.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Without paying
them
tons
more.
of
There's a
money.
budget that the.
So we had to
theater had
find
to-
internal, and like the non-ec people are so great, and
Oh yeah.
we had they would cover stuff, but like fitting it, it's a puzzle.
It's a puzzle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, so there was just an extra ensemble man,
Yeah.
extra
Ensemble
woman,
female, yeah.
and then
We had swings.
that's it.
Yeah.
We had
2 male
two
swings and
male
2 female
swings
swings.
off stage, and they
One
covered
female swing.
all the ensemble guys.
Yeah.
Then the guys on stage covered 4 seasons.
Yeah.
The girls, female swing off stage that covered one girl and the fourth girl.
Yeah.
Covered Francine and the fourth girl.
Yeah.
And then
The Francine was also the Mary Delgado cover.
Yeah.
The Lorraine was the dance captain.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's more things like that, but it was great because things happen and
And
it worked
swings went
out.
on.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, was it your Gaudio who missed the
Oh,
first week?
yeah.
Yeah, opening week, our Gaudio got COVID. So
We didn't get to see him on stage, but
Yeah.
he was fabulous in the room, great actor.
Yeah.
And then his understudy that went on, Tommy, he's Handsome Hank.
Yeah.
He went on, nailed it right away, like he was ready to play it, and he's going to play it. Tommy Betts,
Yeah.
it's amazing.
yeah.
And now
Alright.
you have on film, you have on video the proof that our dog is smart.
I did
enough-
see that.
Open doors.
Open the door.
Yeah, you have to close-
He's
What a
amazing.
weirdo.
Probably gonna come back in a second.
He's amazing.
Coach, that's why he's chief. That's why
He's the chief. He's
Exactly. Chief, the-
He's gonna come back in,
yeah,
get ready.
yeah, the pendant that moves.
Okay, well, this is very interesting. So for anyone who is going to produce the show one day or direct it, there are different rules for
Yeah.
like if one house is equity and non-ec.
Yeah.
And depending on your budget and how many cast members you want to have. And I'm sure it depends on the audition process too, right? Like if there's people you really want to include, you would find a way to incorporate them in the
Yeah.
show. Yeah.
Like the swings, it's like, oh, I love them. They could be many things. Let's make sure they're in it.
Mhm.
They're in some way.
Yeah.
So
Yes. Okay.
talented
All right.
people.
Well, this is very helpful from a high level perspective because we get I think in the weeds and we're like, well, how do they do this and why is that the rule versus this? But the truth is, it just depends on the house.
right.
how much money they have, if they want to do a bigger version with the original orchestrations, or if they want to do it, because there are many versions you can get. You can get the full big Broadway and then add a fourth girl on stage if you want. The Muni had a huge budget, and we had like an entire they have what they call the Muni
young
kids,
and they danced at
which is like kids in
concerts.
college or
Very
in high
cute.
school. And yeah, so like when there were concerts, they would rush the stage like we were as
But
a rock stars.
the Muni didn't let you curse.
No, they did not.
So
St. Louis,
that
right?
was,
Right.
I don't think that was very effective.
No.
Fireside,
But no, it wasn't effective.
Fireside allowed it, and they had, every time you go on their website to go like buy tickets, they would be like,
True.
you know, telling you no children, and there's what is it? Jersey language? Authentic.
It's so funny. I just saw the handle move.
Oh,
It's a plethora.
Oh,
A plethora of dogs.
oh.
Three dogs that we have our, yeah, and there's
Hey,
three
good
dogs.
boy.
Aw. Hi, buddy.
Oh,
We
look at
miss
that.
you.
Oh, you're a good boy.
He's such a
Wonder if they
baby.
remember us. Oh,
I'm sure they
yeah.
do.
How old are they now?
The chief is 5, like same age as our daughter,
Yeah,
and Stella
Stella is
is
12.
12. Crazy.
big boy.
But anyways, Fireside,
Mhm.
Yeah.
they're like, this is their first show that is something like this. They haven't done, it's a small town in Wisconsin, and it's they do the classics a lot of the time, and play small plays or lots of Christian concerts and stuff like that. So the family that owns it, they're so awesome. I've known them for so long. The younger son has taken it over. He wants to bring in different people. And this Jersey Boys was a hit. People would write in like, thank you so much. You know, the first time that Mary says the F word, fuck yourself, everyone, it's either good or bad, but a lot of the time it was good because it's funny. Like, these people watch movies.
Exactly.
So I'm so glad, because if it was Ed Flesh, who's the artistic director and producer, he's like, we have to do it.
Yeah.
And the guy was like, yeah, we're doing it.
Yeah.
And it was great.
And because
There's no way if you do it the other way, it's just not
it's not effective. And you know what? Because of all the warnings, I don't think they got a complaint. I
no,
don't think anybody
because
said
there was
anything.
warnings
Because
constantly.
you couldn't buy a ticket without a big thing going, they has authentic Jersey language, okay? You know what you know,
Yeah,
kids.
so there you go.
Don't bring
That's all you gotta do.
Yeah.
The Muni has a lot of people there,
Yeah.
and I think they tend to always want kids, but
Yeah.
it's fine.
Right.
So we're glad that the trend for Fireside, they're gonna be doing Rocky soon.
Mhm.
Like, they're doing more, like I've told Ed, I'm like, Chicago, you gotta do that. Just things that are a little more, fun. The cast was fantastic.
Yeah.
A lot of people had not done the show before.
Yeah.
So it was really fun to create with people, because we saw so many people that had done it, and they're like, we did the cruise ship and all this, and you're like so excited, you're like, oh, they're going to be so good, and they are, but then you're like, oh, but they're just doing the same thing. I'm like, we're like, try something else, because this isn't the Dodgers production. Nic's done it. I remember one of them was like, she was in it, I think. She was like, I was recently in the Dodger production and the cruise ship, and she said all the names of the people, and Nick's like, awesome. And she like researched later. She's like, oh, you closed the Broadway. Like, it sounds impressive because it's awesome, which it's great, but you're like, I know that's yes.
That's
He didn't
hilarious.
say anything, but
Well,
Do you know who you're talking to?
exactly. You know.
Don't you know who I think I am?
and
Come
they
on.
also thought we lived in Wisconsin.
Yeah.
I'm like, I don't live in Wisconsin. No offense, it's great. They thought we were just locals, like coming to New York to audition, people. But there's no problem with that.
Were there local auditions as well, or only New York?
No.
No.
I mean, a lot of the time, I don't know if he goes there anymore, but he has lots of Chicago actors, because it's a an hour and a half away.
Yeah.
Right.
So Joey Chelis
Yeah.
was the guy that played Bob is from Chicago. Well, he's from Milwaukee originally,
Yeah.
but lives in Chicago and does shows, you know, which is amazing there too. So yeah, so you get a lot of actors from Chicago too because it's so close.
Mhm.
Right.
But we hired a couple people from that have done stuff at Fireside, like they were already there and sent stuff in, and we loved them more than people coming in New York, and we hired them.
Yeah.
Like Reese, who was Nick Massey, he was wonderful.
Yep.
He had just done Titanic there and something else, and he hadn't been home to New York for a long time, and we're like, "You're gonna do Nick Massey too. Now you can go home." So yeah, it was great.
Yeah.
Oh, well, going back to the Fulton Theatre production for a second, Nick, having done the show with, you know, a lot of Marys over the years, what did you find special and unique about Desi's Mary that may have refreshed the
Oh, she was the best. She was the best Mary that I've ever seen on stage.
Oh, you're gonna say.
No, it's true. No, but there is, so
We had
as you know from the show and the way it's directed, there's a pacing to it, right? It's a fast pace that Des McAnuff is an incredible director. What was great about being able to have different directors and different choreographers is to be able to have a different pacing and to allow certain actors to take a bit more time. And one thing that I find in the original production is that Mary doesn't have time to be liked. The scene that she does, I mean, she's hardballing, but there is a you have to follow.
Why does he like her if she's
like her,
just
right?
There's like the flirtation is just kind of
Being
it's quick, and you're like, oh,
being hot
she's
is not
funny,
enough.
that's-
You know, being hot and rude to Frankie is not enough for him to be like, okay,
that's
this
be a glimpse at
there's
time.
there's got to be playfulness and a flirtatiousness and allow that to breathe. And so what I saw Desi do on stage was just that, and bring humor, and the audience laughed a lot more because they had time to take Mary in and be like, oh, okay, I understand why Frankie would like her and fall in love with her. And which is also the more heartbreaking when that scene happens where they have a fight and it's the divorce essentially. It brought that journey really wonderful, and what Desi is such an incredible actress and singer and dancer, but that's what she brought to it. She brought that great acting as that likability and awesome.
I don't think that, you know, the women are, I think being a woman, you see how they're treated in that show and you're like, oh, just give. I know that they're just toys for these guys because the affairs and stuff, but that's why we wanted to see just even when we just directed it, a little bit more from the scene also with Lorraine. It's like, it's so like when they're the interview, we gave them more time, and it just was a little bit more flirty and like sweet, and you're like, oh, and she takes a moment as he leaves and she just kind of looks at him. It's just like, you just there needs to be more moments like that. I know you don't need to give it to the women, they're just kind of secondary and they play all these roles, but it's really nice to
to be able to
those
do
moments.
that.
The pizza scene is a great scene, and thank you for your compliment.
You're welcome. And also, so Desi's fantastic, and then the actress we hired for the Fireside, Tori Palin, looks like she on her resume. She's like Marissa Tomei lookalike.
She's from Jersey.
And she was fantastic.
Literally, and she's never played it. So she even came in. I don't even think she had an accent when she did that.
No, I don't think so.
But she just was like, oh, you got it, because we saw so many people that have done it on the cruise or done it, and it's exactly the same. I'm like, just do something different.
We try to break it out. If you do something, your muscle memory kicks in. Like even if
the same.
Myself,
but you're an actor, so just play a little bit more.
Like try something, try this and try that.
And she did it because she's never done it, but she knows what the character is. She's from Jersey. She literally looks like Marissa Tomei.
Yeah, she was great.
That's not why she got, but she's a great actor first. And we were like, oh, she's perfect. Then we were done. I'm like, she better say yes. That's like, that's it. And she
better not have any fucking scheduling conflict.
With the pizza scene, how did she play it? Or Desi, how did you play that scene?
I mean, I I went in there. I think it starts with the moment that they meet at the table, and she's in charge. I mean, like she stands up. She asks for a light, and they're just walking, and she's just, she thought he was cute, but it's not like I'm gonna marry him. Maybe she'll have sex with him. She just, sits down, and then what's his name was so sweet. I love looking at it.
Jonathan Musset.
Yeah, he changed his last name now, so I don't know what his name is, but he was so sweet. He's a great actor, and just looking at his blue eyes, I can't be that mean. Like, I know, but like it's you start just like, yeah, of course it's blah blah blah. You're smoking. It's just fun to, like, as an actor, you always have to bring yourself in to the roles, as we know. And I'm not a Jersey girl, but I've played Anita. I've played tough broads, but there's sex appeal, and that me as a person, I always want to bring a sensualness to anything that I am, because that's what I am. And just like taking time and looking at them, and I don't know, I just had a lot of fun with it. And I don't know, the kiss don't worry about the kiss. It was just fun to play that. And also people that will watch this will be like, these people are weirdos. These are weird dogs.
No, but that's so interesting, because it's true, like this with the pacing of the show, like, so you added extra moments and you allowed for things to be sweet, so for example, at the table, I know, because this is what I love about the fact that people like can do the show outside of Dodgers. You can try different things. So if you have more time and you're bringing the table out, maybe Frankie can get the chair for her.
And
like add more of those.
Oh, he did. Exactly. I forgot that wasn't in the original. Yeah, he comes around, gives it to her, and she kind of like looks at him like, oh, this is a classy guy. Or he's trying, like, men don't do that in Jersey, probably. Or maybe they do because they're smarmy, but he's like trying really hard. Jonathan kind of played it a little nervous, because he's just smiled the whole time and giggled. He giggled a lot because I generally was amusing him. I don't think he was acting. I think he was like, it was fun. It was very fun to play. And it wasn't like, okay, do this. There's no music. Is there music under the? Yeah, but it worked out. It's not like I was taking this long pause. Like it just was a little bit more like, now here's a woman involved.
These are long pause. These are long pause.
Yes, but I love that. I love that you were able to take more time. And that's the thing with Act 1 of the show, is that it is so fast. There's not enough time for subtleties. You're a newer actor to the show. You just want to, basically, I can imagine everyone just wants to get through it.
Yeah.
It's a beast. The first act is a beast.
Right.
Was it harder at Fireside because you were using the tracks though?
Oh, for like underscoring or just anything. Or
just right, because like to be able to take that step back and create those.
Oh yeah.
I mean,
it's frustrating a little bit, but
but because it was our version, we were able to say, okay, we need one more vamp here, or just extend this. So if we needed the time, we were able to add it.
Yes.
Okay.
But
it was just hard because some, the actors, they're saying the speech, or like during the final monologues, you're trying to keep the same pacing. But as an actor, you don't want to be a robot and do the same thing every night. But because we had tracks and we wanted the song to end a certain part of this, blah blah blah, this, or
you did a good job.
The scenes with like when with Bob Gaudio and Bob Crew, like, play the fucking song already. Like it has to go to transition. That's the moment where the music stops. And so just to try to keep the same pacing and then have a cue, or even starting Sherry.
Those are so hard. We had to add
the vamp, or like extend Bob,
or the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. So
It worked out.
it was
though.
challenges that
They
way, but
rehearsed.
the actors were so well prepared, and
Yeah.
like it was just like, okay, just hear it. This is how long you have. Try to do it the same every night. And then there was a little, we could add like a crash symbol or a little bell to let them know that this is the last vamp. And then they're like, oh, or like catch up, you know, or it's like it was a warning.
Smart.
Okay.
But once
That's
they did
really
it, they
smart.
were on it.
Yeah.
It
Right. So
was-
how long did it take for you both to figure that out? Did you figure it out beforehand, like before you
It
started
was
rehearsals?
Oh no, before the last couple run-throughs in the rehearsal
Yeah.
hall, we had to count. We're like, okay, guys, hold.
My dream is to direct the show. I would love to do
Yeah.
that someday. Yes, and to be like as the music director, like there's so much you can do, and like of course you want to keep it the same, but like my whole thing is though, because this was when our mindset was like you have to be completely different choreography wise than Dodgers, but thankfully that's not the case. But how do you? It's so hard. How do you not do the original moves?
Especially you were in it. I wasn't in it.
It's hard, but it's a variation on a thing. And I mean, honestly, it's hard to own the rights to step touch, you know, like
Right.
you know,
Right.
step
Yeah,
He
touch,
doesn't have
or
the right
walk
to
like
do
a
a
man,
step
you know, like
It's like
it's there's certain steps that are similar, of course, but it's totally fine. If it's exactly the same, that's when you have an issue. But if it's
no, but like
over,
Boyfriend's Back, that's not
Yeah.
that iconic.
Yeah.
That was fun to do something new
yeah,
because it's
Yeah.
cute.
Really, the
Right.
only thing that's iconic is the
Yeah,
yeah,
they didn't do the double up or anything. No, and arms were different.
yeah.
right,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah. But was
And
it
we had a
challenging?
stage turn.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot. You were like, oh, I want to do this, but I can't do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
a little challenge.
Especially when there's musicality and things in the music that I know so well, and like I want to enhance that, and that's so I got to find a different movement. But once it's figured out, and once you do, it's like, oh yeah. And I've seen other productions. Josh Rhodes did the one of the Muni, and that was completely different.
Yeah,
And he had never done it,
Right.
and was never, So there were certain things that he's like, oh, what did you guys do here in the Broadway production? Okay, I want to make sure I don't do the same
Yeah.
thing, because there's an impulse and an inclination to be like, oh, that's it. This goes with the music. And it's like, well, that's why it was choreographed that way originally.
Would you mind? Do you could you show us some sequence that's different, like some dance sequence that you came up with?
oh, that's something.
Maybe?
Oh yeah. Here's one. Ragdoll.
Put the child.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, Ragdoll. That's one is very different.
Oh,
Okay.
And I remember it
I
because
can
right now you put me on the spot.
I'm sorry.
So in the Broadway, it was like bum 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 bum. It was like a double bum bum Ragdoll. Bum bum.
It was?
Wasn't it? If I could, yeah, because it was bum bum. So yeah, it was complex stuff, and our version is very step. And it was more like boom, ragdoll, such a pretty, like just very
Oh,
still.
you went bump bump to in. Those
Yeah,
were,
bum bum. Yeah, such a pretty. Yeah, it's just things like that.
Okay.
It's like,
Yeah,
Very subtle.
yeah.
And again, it's like I said,
It's still effective and people love
Yeah.
the music. So it's like,
it's
Right,
a very
right.
similar theme. So that's it's like, oh, it's similar but different.
yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much. I'm sorry I put you on the spot. I should have put
No,
that.
it's fine. I was like, do I remember my choreography?
I don't. The
Yes.
dogs-
Okay. Awesome. Is there?
No, I think this is a great place to wrap up.
Yeah.
Everyone, Nic and Desi and Baby Z's new album, La Vie En
Oh,
Rose,
yeah.
available for digital purchase and physical copy at nicanddesi.bandcamp.com. Also streaming on Spotify, and then go to
Superheroesinlove.com.
Yeah.
okay.
Or find us at Superheroesinlove, one
On
word for Instagram.
Instagram.
Exactly. So we're gonna have all of their links and everything in our bio.
Go see them.
Go see them. So
Yay.
They are the best duo you will see in capture.
Thank you. The best duo show you will see
That's right. In New York.
in New York that sings in.
Broadway World, based on
Yeah.
BroadwayWorld.com.
proven, literally.
So good.